Hi guys, this time we're going to play Egypt with a focus on the stables for the camels to play against bowman civs and against the early game solid cavalry civs. So Persia, Greeks and Babylonian are sort of the civs you want to play like this against, or maybe possibly Norse as well. Really good map control style of play. So open double storehouse, however you see fit. Probably grab hunting dogs unless you're really worried about getting spear rushed, or you're looking to open for spears yourself, in which case, you know, you gather a bit of early game wood as well to get that early barracks. So starting out, we're really just going to work on a quick age 2, second town centre and stables. So yeah, this is sort of the build where if you're having to deal with either ranged or cavalry, you'll go for this, rather than worrying about barracks to deal with all the infantry, with your own timing push with your axeman, your counter infantry unit, and following it up with chariots. This time you're sort of doing it back to front. You're actually going to get the stables first, so you've got access to the camels. You're going to be able to field chariots straight off the bat in age 3, and you'll eventually get champion axemen as well as your forts, but just try and get a bit of raiding damage done, get a lot of map control. Go into age 3 a bit more confidently than trying to have to play on the defensive and get lucky with some axeman engagements, because they probably are the less favourable of the civs to play around counter infantry until age 3. Like, it's good once you've got that AoE damage upgrade, but I think in age 2 against Norse you've got a range disadvantage against Celts. Longswordsmen get the benefit of the druid healing, which, well, priestess healing is pretty solid still. I don't think it's as good because you don't get the bonus of the damage buff. So yeah, we've gone up to 5 vils on food and wood. We got hunting dogs. Gonna work on getting that quick age 2 here. So age up on 12 or 13, 11 vils even, possibly. 11 to 13 is pretty safe. Just want to keep producing vils through all this, which is going to mean, as Egyptian and Babylonian, you want 4 villages rather than just 3 on the hunt. But you can also keep getting stone and wood gatherers through this. And it's a good idea just to make sure you get this house as well, so you're going to be able to have the population space for the free priestess of Ra you get out of your temples. So last year or the year before sometime, people that haven't really played AoEO for a long time or mainly come from PvE, temples actually give you a free priest unit on completion, but only if you've got the population space to fit it in. I think that's technically over this side of the map, so we'll keep on searching. And we can get handsaw. We can even delay it with a build like this because it is going to be quite food heavy. Keep scanning out the map. I can probably go and start checking out what he's doing as well. Might be a good idea at this point. I shall start on that gold mine as well, because we will eventually need it for the camel production. Oh. That sucks. I'm going to have to try and scout with my camels a little bit, but that's the beauty of playing a build like this. If you throw away your scout, it's not hard to scout with your army. It's because of what you're going for. Might even start getting a little bit more food here. Just about to take that town centre now. So we'll go for it. I want to try and seize another hunt, but also protect another gold mine if I can. So we'll just... we'll go this way. So this is very risky. Against a real player, obviously, they can potentially counter this. Oh shit, I'm 3 stone short. Oh. We'll go for the town centre. We've already got the gold and the food we need for camel production, so we can go for that stables. going to be a lot of food income there. Maybe try and fit in pickaxe soon, and we'll go up to 2 stables. Just get lean as well, rather than having to go for another house here. I mean, the gold's protected, the food income's protected. It's looking pretty safe. So we'll just start making some camels. Even fit in pickaxe here. Because you are going to want to get both camel champ and axeman champ. 2 stables. Just use this one to actually scout for now. So I'm going to need to get another hunt soon here. So we'll set up for that. Annoyingly, it's going to be a bit tough. It's all the way over there, but this is sort of the best build to play reactively and expansively. Pretty much any civ this early on, because your counter cavalry is a cavalry unit and is your hit and run unit, so makes it quite tough for your opponent to actually fight you at the mid map unless they're really committing to army. Like if they're going for heavy Age 2 army, obviously you're probably going to want to add the barracks at this point, but if not, just keep making camels. Get enough food, wood and gold. You age up from here. I'm scouting the map out. And yeah, we'll probably stop camel production there. So those scythe chariots, that's really just because it's an AI. Actually, we'll get... yeah, that'll be plenty. Even start on our berries income now. Get the resources for age 3. About 7 minutes in. Got enough camels to really start raiding quite well. The beauty is these guys trade really well against Asabara, so it's a great way to play into Persian aggression. Let's start that stone gathering now as well, because we can go for armory, use a bit of this excess wood we've got to add a barracks or 2. So we've sort of done this in reverse to the other Egyptian style, where you'd start with the 2 barracks or 3 barracks before age up. This way we've gone 2 stables then barracks, and we can add more stables or barracks while we're getting this age 3. Stone for the armory there. And we can keep putting some pressure on with our camels. If you've got enough low camels, you might be able to bring them back and use priestess healing, or even make a 3rd priestess, just park her somewhere on the map that your opponent's not pushing, just to heal them up. If you want to save population space, you can even just delete him if you want. And yeah, we'll be able to go for some nice little raids here. Getting their market. Interesting choice. A lot of towers. So he's playing very defensively here. And because he's going for towers over forts or town centers, it puts him behind economically. So we can actually add more barracks. Really bump up this gold gathering. Try and take cav to cav fights whenever possible. Unless it's against Norse or Celt or Roman horsemen. Every other form of cavalry, your camels just straight up beat. So you want to try and get camel champion, start adding some chariots, and even once you can get the gold for axeman champion, start adding some of them into your composition. Get camel champ and start adding chariots. But you can start adding the axeman, and then we can always add axe champ. And we're getting pop capped a little bit here, so don't be afraid to use multiple villagers to build the houses, just to force them up that little bit quicker. Just keep units in production as optimally as you can. If you want to get a bit faster at that, playing tiny I think is actually not a bad idea. Now we've still got the stone for third town centre, taking our second armory upgrade as well. Probably put this over here. Egyptian tend to favour quite tight spaces. The base layouts initially, generally quite a defensive civ by design. So try and delay the chariots a little if you can, if it's going to mean your third town centre comes up faster, and then start chariot production again. Because when you're in age 3, you don't want to spend too long sitting on only 2 TC, otherwise you're not getting the full benefit of being age 3. And now that I've got my armory upgrades, both my champion upgrades, I can move some of these guys back to stone to get fortress production on the way. Make sure I'm still going to have good food income here. Just start taking fights. Back up a little bit here. We can add one last stables. Thought I deleted this guy. And yeah, now we're starting to slowly get the stone for forts. And we're in age 3 with a very aggressive, very map control oriented build. And we're already ready to switch back to Axeman Champion if need be, if we can't afford to get straight onto the fortresses. Because you really probably should try and fit Chisel in. And possibly even the second stone upgrade, just to get those a little bit faster. Keep adding either stables or barracks, or a mix of both. And remember to try and get precesses. Touch of Ra is good because you get the empower rate, villager train time. It's not a huge amount, but the healing rate's also going to be really good for your actual army value. Try not to waste too much stuff. It's okay to try and hit and run and just figure out where your opponent is, and then use that to your advantage to push elsewhere. So we'll take this tower, deny that hunt. Try and not to get housed as much as I am in these guide videos, please. Doing the best of jobs here, am I? Anyway, we can take quite nice fights. I think camels actually focus counter cavalry ranged, like mounted archers, over focusing things like Asabara in the front line, because that's what's actually killing them. Just as long as it doesn't end up with your chariots tanking the Asabara, as long as they're fighting camels still, or they're attacking your axemen, it's all better than them fighting your camels, just because you're denying that counter damage. Try not to overcommit too much resources to this army production, because you want to transition now to your fortress production. Chuck them on golds and stones and stuff. Really just deny your opponent the map while being prepared to just bin him. Try and get your armory upgrades. You can add your second armory from here, or slightly earlier if you want. If you ever worried you're overproducing chariots so you don't have the wood to get more production, or more, especially more houses or more fortresses, you can always just switch to more camel oriented, and even get, a third barracks if you want, just to get more axemen out at this stage. So it's really sort of flexible once you've gotten to age 3. Oh, he's actually going to chase you. Just make sure we don't lose the bills getting this. Don't be worried if your opponent initially catches the bills, because if it's not a huge amount of units, you might actually be able to turn it into a winnable fight. Now you can deny all these resources. Keep creeping forward. Set yourself up. Stop over gathering on the gold. You can work on getting age 4 behind all this. and try and even prepare for the farm eco in advance if we can afford to. Obviously getting more military upgrades is also just as good, if not better. And you can start going for your elephant production from here. And yeah guys, I hope that's giving you a bit more of an idea on how to open with camels first, and then turn it into a fairly flexible camel, chariot, axeman. Even I probably could have made a bit better use of the priestess as a Ra. But the thing is, if you're mostly playing around the camels, that will impact your mobility. Yeah, from here, just contain your opponent, go to age 4. Maybe even get some siege workshops if you want to push with. And as long as you're denying all the golds and the stones on the map, your opponent can't get fortresses anywhere near as cost effectively as you can. So from there you will just starve him out in the late game, which is something Egypt is extremely good at. They're a civ that struggles with most aspects of the game other than that. But if you can manage to basically bring things back into your favour, then you'll really get to enjoy the civ to its full potential. Because they are a hard civ to master. People at the lower levels go, oh cool, I've got 3 elephants, my opponent can't instantly kill my army, and then, well, that's basically as far as they get, because then their opponent does figure out how to deal with elephants, and they kind of start. So we'll start our war alley production. We could have probably even started it a couple of minutes earlier than this, or gone for siege tower pushing as well. So I've covered some stuff on just general siege tower pushing in some of my other video, or one of my other videos. You can check that out if you want. And yeah guys, from here, wrap the game up. Go a bit more heavy on the war alleys. Try and sneak in a siege tower or 2 if you've committed to it, or even go for cheeky forward fortress creep around one side of the map if it's something like, what are we on here? The Groves map. Lowland Groves. And remember, age 4 now costs 200 extra stone than what it originally used to, so keep that in mind, because particularly as Egypt and Norse, if you're playing fortress heavy, it's going to chew through... Actually no, sorry, not so much as Egypt and Norse on individual fort costs, but just in terms of as the civs that like to play super aggressively with the fortresses, it's something you're going to have to keep in mind. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed watching. Be sure to check out the next video.